Let me get into a little bit of who I am and what I do. It doesn't matter if you're a new business or an existing one. What I have a passion for doing is coming into organizations, finding the breakdowns, what's preventing people from growing their business or from really creating the right profit centers and the long-term growth that they need to see. Sometimes it can be as simple as your website is absolutely incongruent with your brand. Sometimes it may be we haven't even uncovered who the right audience is. So those are all the kind of things, and I think I get that kind of sick, twisted love from corporate America, my background, because that's what I did there. I would go into the big companies and I would see where there are gaps, and then, so now I just get to do that on in my opinion, a more fun level, which is with the small business entrepreneur. You don't have to deal with the bureaucratic stuff, and it's a lot more fun. So some of the things, as I just kind of mentioned, is, I have a passion for marketing strategy and really finding out what is the strategy that you've put into play. Do you have one? And is it one that will work? And then what's the next one and the next one and the next one? Website issues, this is usually one of the first things I do, is I pretty much will rip apart someone's website. Usually that, I don't mean to be rude about it, but I'm here to make you better. And so just even your presence to the masses is going to make a huge difference. Uncovering profit centers that maybe companies haven't even looked at yet. Branding, sometimes branding, maybe that step got skipped, and unfortunately people aren't resonating with who you are. When we first started our business 6 years ago, we set ourselves up more in a production company setup, and so we had a kitschy name, and it was fine when we started, but we very quickly grew out of that, and that damaged us, that damaged our reputation, and so we had to fix that, and we were glad that we were able to do that, and so we rebranded, and now this feels right? So sometimes branding can hold you back. I do a lot with manufacturing, people bringing products to market. So if we had someone in the room that was going to be bringing, let's say a product to the retail market, that would be something where, I would bring in manufacturing partners, and we would get bids, and we would look at packaging and all that kinds of things. Goal setting, timelines, action steps, those are the things I really enjoy doing.
The world is changing. Today's consumer isn't like we used to be. Yes, he also finds moving pictures magical, but his passion for video goes beyond simple amazement. Constantly connected, he sees the world differently than you and I. On-demand access has brought the world's information to the palm of his hand, making it difficult to drag his attention away from cat antics and viral videos. Yes, video has impacted our consumer even more than traditional forms of advertising. And if current trends continue, it's only going to become more difficult to connect with them. Indeed, it seems nothing will hold his attention, except video. Quality content is the only tool that keeps this audience engaged. And a quality video provider is your best ally in the fight for his attention.
We all know that we have to be doing video. We've passed that time, right? We're in a place where video it's moving into that saturated space, but we're still on the precipice of separating the men from the boys. Because the people, if you notice, the very last thing in the phone that they said was quality, and then blah, 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 quality. It is important that with our brands, and that when we position ourselves in the marketplace, that first impression, it has to be quality. It has to represent who we want to be perceived in the marketplace for a long time. So internet marketers, I respect them, and there is a place for it. Doesn't matter what the quality of the video is, just stick it up for 20 or 30 seconds and say what you got to say. But when we're talking about your brand, when we're talking about newsletters, when we're talking about your website, you want quality video because that is your reputation. So some of the objectives of the class today that we're going to go through is I'm going to teach you why leveraging videos in your business can be beneficial in the sales process, because we're all here to make money, right? So if we have pretty video and it doesn't help bring us any revenue streams, then you're wasting your money, right? Look pretty, but wasting your money. We will show you the latest trends that are working and not working in the marketplace. And we will teach you how to create a marketing campaign using video as a major selling tool. So let's talk a little bit about marketing strategy. There's really in my opinion, four core reasons. Obviously, these could break down into smaller ones, but We're either creating a marketing strategy to get people to buy from us, to create a movement maybe, to educate people, or for brand awareness. We see this all the time with the big brands, right? Not every time is Apple coming out with a new product. They may be just kind of sustaining the brand and, hey, look at us, we're still here, right? Which is more brand awareness. Or they may want to educate us so that down the pike, then they're going to ask us to buy something. So I'm going to show you an example. This is something that we put together when we started our business, and this was like 6 years ago. So imagine me going in and speaking to about 40 people in the top ad agency, and they asked me to come in because they knew we were doing new and innovative things in the marketplace. We were the first leveraging web and other tools when they were still doing TV, radio, and print. Imagine how this went over. Over the years, advertising hasn't really changed that much. The three biggest forms have been TV, radio, and print. Then Al Gore came along and a new form was created. Hi, I'm Lisa Kelley, owner of White Chocolate Video Productions. Television was invented in 1928, but the first official ad didn't hit the airwaves until 1941. A watch company paid NBC $9 for a 20-second spot. Wow, times sure have changed. Print advertising has an even longer history and has been very effective. In fact, the only reason I buy the Sunday paper is for the advertisements, the sales, but the audience is getting smaller and smaller. Well, where has that audience gone? The internet. Online ads and pay-per-clicks were all the rage, and for some companies still are. But this little thing called YouTube exploded and made video ads the next best way to get your audience back. We did it for brand awareness. We did it to educate. We were really trying to start a movement and get people, engaged to this new way of kind of marketing their businesses. And as we can see, 6 years later, it's taken on a pretty good bit. So the point is, be different, stand out, do something that other people aren't doing with your brand, because when you do that, you become the expert, you become the trendsetter. Also, we're going to talk about, why using video. It helps your sales conversion rates, and we can definitely show you proof of that. We live in a world of mobile devices. How many of us, I was just looking at one of the clients that I'm working with last night. I was so delighted because I'm coaching him, and so I said, okay, here's what you're going to do with your newsletter, do this, 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 and it came in, and I was looking at it on my mobile device, and I was able to just scroll through there and be like, yes, 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 he nailed it, look at that, 30-second video, boom, content, boom. But we are all using our mobile devices more and more frequently. We're not having to just check it for the text mails and then go to our computers. Using videos is a perfect way to get that emotional attachment. It's that perfect way to engage people on a deeper level that we didn't really have when we just had pictures. It's not the same. And we can quickly convey a message. In 30 seconds, you can say a lot. This is an example I'm going to run through really quickly. She's a nutritionalist, and she's in a small town, right? Small town in Erie, Pennsylvania. And so, I asked her, I said, well, I would guess that most of your business is coming from the local people, word of mouth. And she's like, what's interesting is I get about half and half. So I Googled nutritionalist, and I put that in, nutritionalist, Erie, Pennsylvania, just to see what would come up. So she's third right there, Helen, right? Professional nutrition consulting, there it is. Now, let me show you the homepage of her website. And this is what's happening on her website. And that is the delay. There is no sound. Scrolling pictures are not good, by the way, people. The thing that I want to talk about above the fold, this is what it looks like above the fold on her website. She does tours in grocery stores, for people. She does cooking classes. She takes health insurance because evidently most, nutritionalists, they don't. And she has her own practice. So how much better would this be if she had, in 30 seconds, I could learn about who she is, what she does, what her credentials are. So you can see how video would really help her. She said, I can't believe you're suggesting that. I'm like, why not? She said, well, because, my husband has been saying I need to do that for a long time, but my web guy, right? The web guy, okay, one more time. He's the web guy, told her that she should just record something on her iPhone, stick it up on YouTube, and he could put that in here. He's the web guy, right? So he specializes in websites, not video. Above the fold is prime real estate for your website. If you're not having something so they can sign up to something, if you're not educating them very quickly, you're going to lose them in about 5 seconds. So let's look at another one. This is a doctor who is brilliant. He's actually a CEO Space member. But I want you to take a look at what he had out on YouTube and the first impression you would have had of him if you went and found this, okay?
Hi, Dr. Charles Glassman, and I want to continue along the lines of how do we stop taking direction from, how do we stop believing, trusting, and this thing that I call the automatic brain, which is always looking to protect us, trying to influence us and help us believe that that part of our brain is actually looking out for our best interest.
Let's look at some things from a video perspective, just to give you some quick tips on video if you are doing some video, because we're in a time where, you know what, we've got all these different things flying at us, and our marketing budgets as entrepreneurs are sometimes pretty slim, right, even if we have one. So I'm not saying that you don't go out, don't get, some equipment and film yourself. I'm just wanting to give you tips that if you're going to do that for a blog or for a newsletter, things like that, look at the little things. Okay, first of all, we've got a lot of stuff going on, but the clutter in the back, you want to make sure that whatever's in frame, that it looks nice. Wardrobe, okay, even if he's gonna wear his scrubs, he definitely needs them ironed, right? That just looks a little messy, a little sloppy, right? I mean, come on, it's okay. We love him. This riveting content with this bad audio and this bad lighting goes on for 7 minutes and 45 seconds. And I'm telling you, I know this man personally. I've gone through his products. I've seen his books and everything that he's doing, but we're never going to know it because we're never going to get past the first 30 seconds. Would we agree? Most of us. Lighting, headroom, you barely want enough headroom at the top. Then, you don't want to cut the head off, but, definitely like up there where the bottom of the word is, you definitely want to bump it up. So, and make sure you have a tighter frame. And then of course, audio. Let's talk a little bit more about Coach MD. Okay, so this is Mr. Charles Glassman. Let me introduce you for the first time to Mr. Charles Glassman, right? Ta-da! When we started working with Charles, I'm going to use some examples, and every example I use, please put this into the formula of my business. How does this apply to me? But I want you to think about your own business and could you take any of these things away? So the campaign that we were looking at is we wanted to make Coach MD a household name. This gentleman is a regular MD. He has a brick and mortar office practice, but that is not his passion. That is not what he wants to do when he grows up, right? What he wants to be when he grows up is he wants to be more health and wellness. He wants to teach people how they can actually use their own minds and their own intellect to help them have better health and a happier life. Brand identity, reestablish brand loyalty, convert dedicated fan base, and create long-term revenue streams. So I'm going to show you an example of this in a second, but unfortunately, he hired a web company, right? He didn't hire somebody to kind of look at everything and then, sequence it. You'll learn a lot about sequencing here at CEO Space, and sequencing is very important. He thought he was doing a great thing. Unfortunately, he got a website that look like this. At first glance, what's wrong with it? Well, what's wrong with it is he is a service-based business, okay? He is selling a relationship. I'm not poo-pooing on what the web company did. They're web specialists, so they did what they knew, which was he's got to make money, internet marketer skill sets, let's just put product everywhere. Okay, well, here's the problem with that is he has almost 70,000 fans on Facebook. He has a huge database of people. What do you think happened if you were following this guy for the last 10 or 15 years and you see his website go up with product? Everything's product. If you keep scrolling down, I'm selling you. It's going to turn you off a bit. Now, if you really love him, you're going to forgive it, right? But the people that don't are probably going to be turned off. And so, unfortunately, what ended up happening is the marketing strategy he had in play prior to meeting us was to sell more products. He has thousands of these sitting in his garage and he wants to sell them, right? So they put up this website thinking this was going to be the fix. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was the opposite. He sold less product. So we really had to get right with what is your brand identity and what do we want the market to know about your brand. We have to reestablish loyalty. That's incredibly important. So when we created the new website for him, we made sure we're not selling product on it, right? Because we've got to come back to that relationship base. And one of our objectives in his marketing campaign, unfortunately, I'd love it to be, let's sell, let's create revenue streams. But that's going to come phase 2 because we've got to get that fan base that he's lost. And that's going to take some time. That's going to take 3 to 6 months to get that back. But then we're going to have a slow and steady climb on the financial projections because we've set the infrastructure up right. Now, it doesn't look a ton different, right? Same color scheme, and we purposely did not change his branding. I could have gone crazy with his branding because I'm just not loving that up there, okay? But what we did is, we've got a video now, a highly produced video. Notice up here, we've got his Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You can search. The search bar actually works. If you go in and you search a bunch of words, you'll actually get a bunch of information. His website is content rich. He has articles that he's going to be changing out weekly. So that's the beautiful thing, is that it's going to be a site that people can actually get in and engage with on a regular basis, get new content, sign up for a free ebook. So this was all strategic. All of this we strategized so that we can get him back. So now you see there's no hard selling, easy sign up. The video is in the correct size. We even got so anal as to say who's his target audience. We know it's a woman. We made sure that it's a woman's face because that's his target audience. Now, moving into another, this is like an old staple for us, and this guy's an international home name now. His name's Dr. Josh Axe. We worked with him about 4 years ago. And notice on his website, we purposely, hey, I'm one, let's not reinvent the wheel, right? Let's take parts of things that we know work for other, successful businesses. Well, this is a chiropractor, very similar to an MD as far as, in the industry. And, this wasn't his first rodeo with his website. His first website looked more like Coach MD, right? He was new to the marketplace. He had to sell himself, all of these types of things. But where he is now is he's grown to such a big deal. He can sell his products right up front all day long, but look, he's not selling. It just says, check it out. It's a resource. So that's what you want to be, is your languaging. If you're a service-based company, is I'm going to provide you resources. The resources that I'm providing are going to, empower you to do A, B, C, D. That's the type of languaging you want to do. So you can definitely sell, but it's not hard selling. Sign up. Yep. We copied it. Totally. No worries, because it works. We know it works. Notice there's a formatting. There's a system here. And he just keeps trying and doing new different things. And that is very important in your brands, to look at the next year projection, 2-year projection, and how are you going to bring in new products, new services that you space them out so you have time to market them. He's got cookbooks. He's got so many different things he's doing. He does landing pages where, notice his languaging, welcome Dr. Axe subscribers. You're a subscriber, you're in the VIP club, right? Do you want to lose weight? So his languaging is very soft sell, but he is selling because he's now built his brand to where he can do that, because he's not selling. He's giving you resources and you want it. And then this is a product that we created a long time ago, and look at his landing page. I mean, he's leveraging technology. So let me show you where he all started. This is the story that he started from.
Josh and I have always been close.
I made it the blueberry pancake or blueberry pumpkin pancake recipe, and now my mom's perfected it.
Good, healthy eggs, organic.
I developed a cough, and so they went and they did an x-ray, and they found a 2-centimeter mass on my lung. And they said that my cancer had returned.
She calls me and says, you know what, I've just been diagnosed with these tumors on my lungs. She's like, I don't know what to do.
There was a major conflict in my head, because I said to a friend, I'm looking at a 23-year-old, a young boy, and I'm listening to the oncologists, the surgeons, and they're just so insistent. And this friend says to me, what is your heart telling you? I said, my heart's telling me to listen to Josh. I just feel, really led and really strong that way. And she said, well, that's the way that you need to go.
Now that goes on, and it finishes talking about how, she did the regimens, and she, she's cancer free. I mean, she went back to the oncologist. I mean, it's a beautiful story. But just let me pause and ask you, how's everybody in the room feeling right now? How are you feeling about Dr. Axe? And that's the point, is it's not about him. At that time, it wasn't about him. It was about what he can do to serve other people and how he can help. And what a better person than his mom, who went through cancer, who was the woman that inspired him as a child. I love working with people that are teachable, that will say, I want to know best practices. Tell me what to do. I mean, the first meeting I had with Dr. Axe, I remember his assistant, she was about 22, and she's sitting there with her computer, and she was just pecking away everything I said. And I looked over and I said, are you taking notes on every single thing I'm saying? And she's like, mm-hmm. And Josh told me, he said, yeah, I'm going to put into play everything you're telling me. And we got a hold of him when he first came to Nashville, first started his practice. But he didn't want to be a chiropractor, stuck to a brick and mortar store. And he's not anymore. He did everything. And one of the things we told him is get your own channel on YouTube. create Transformation TV. So he's got all of these videos that he puts on there. And so that afforded him to become the expert, and he just keeps growing and growing and growing. When we put that up on his homepage, in 7 days, I was calling the girls in the office because I wanted to track how they were doing. They said that they tracked 20 new clients that came in because someone sent them that video and said, you have cancer, or I'm worried about you, mom or dad. And the average price that he was making on, as far as like bringing in someone new into his practice, was about $4,000 or $5,000. So you do the math, 20 people times $4,000 to $5,000 in a week. That's not too shabby, right? So that is what video can do for you. And it wasn't selling anything. It was just telling the story of how the mother that inspired him was the inspiration that had cancer and how he helped her. Well, if he helped his mother, I want him to help me, right? Same thing with Coach MD. So we trickled in a lot of very different types of videos. And so the beautiful thing about once you get content like this is then you can leverage it in so many different ways. So whenever you're thinking about doing any kind of video to promote your business, seriously think about who is my target audience, who is my specific demographic, and then incorporate those images, because when people come to find you, to check you out on your website, they actually want to see themselves in a video. So anyway, these are, he's got Coach MD TV. What he's doing is he has the same thing as Dr. Axe. He's doing his channel on YouTube, but he's also incorporating relevant material, and we're structuring that out for 3 months. We're going to talk about these categories, and then we're going to incorporate the information accordingly. So if you're going to do newsletters, get out a calendar, look at it for like a year, do a survey from your audience and say, how often do you want to hear from me? Would you like to hear from me a couple times a month, once a month? What would feel right, so that you don't saturate your audience?
I love what I do. I love what I do because I love to help people help themselves. Hey, Pam. Okay, great to see you.
Good to see you.
People were coming to me because of the writing I've done, the philosophies I have, some of the theories that I've applied to my practice. And I realized what I was doing was coaching them.
Hey, John. Good to see you. Yeah, you too. Look great.
I was being a coach, and I'm an MD. So it just dawned on me, I'm going to call myself Coach MD.
Anytime we feel vulnerable, it causes us to run the other way. And failure definitely goes along with that.
What's wonderful about Dr. Glassman is that he gives me the tools that I need to take on the day, to see a situation and look at it objectively instead of right away seeing the glass half empty.
Many times, doctors will focus on the physical symptoms when really it was something emotional.
I feel great. I'm healthier than ever. I'm enjoying my life. And a few years ago when I came to him, I didn't see that. And I feel like a 20-year-old.
How does that start? How does that feel? Do you feel like this is somebody you might want to know about, you might want to learn about? And the part that you saw with him and Amanda in the hallway talking, that wasn't for the cameras. That was Carlos just being really good and actually capturing him. When he would, every patient that he walked out, that was what he would be. He would be like, he was encouraging them. He was talking more like your therapist versus an MD, right? And so, so as that goes on, you really get a good glimpse of him. And I think all of us have this ability if we just practice. But when you come across authentic on camera, that goes so much farther, doesn't it? Because we can sense it. So let's talk about CEO Space for a minute, because CEO Space is one of our clients. We've actually had the opportunity to help them over the last couple of years with their rebranding process. So we needed to change the perception of what the brand, when I say what the brand was, what the feeling was, what the visual perception of the brand was, what the subliminal kind of layers of the brand was. All of that was stuff that we were in dialogue about. We certainly wanted to highlight different profit centers. And when I look at profit centers, what's a profit center of CEO Space? Platinum is a profit center. The Teens is a profit center. Mass Marketing Boot Camp is a profit center. So we really wanted to showcase these, right? I mean, my languaging of profit centers and revenue streams comes from corporate America, big sales talk, right? That's not exactly the languaging, we would use outside this room to our clients. But the point is that we needed to really expose that. We needed to show all of the wonderful things the CEO space had to offer. And a lot of that was kind of under the curtain, right? And we weren't exposing that. We leveraged social media in a huge way. They revamped the whole website, and that's always an ever-flowing process, right? I mean, it takes a while for an engine like this to get a website that is really good. So, that's always going to be ever-changing. And then created sales funnels to deliver the message. So how did we leverage video in this whole strategy? The very first product that we came out with is still on the About Us page, and we're actually going to be updating that soon. But and it's the Bernie Dorman documentary. It's his story of how he went to prison and what he went through and why he created this space for everybody. And so that's the first product that we started with. Why? Because we had to start where it needed to start, which was we had to go back. We had to change some of the bad perceptions that were out there, because some people would go Google CEO space and go, oh, that place is a scam, right? So let's put the elephant out in the room. Let's talk about how this happened. Yep, I went to prison. You daggum right, I went to prison, and it wasn't right. And here's why, and here's how I'm using it to better other people, right? So we started there.
It's extremely painful. I mean, the separation from freedom and your life. I mean, what do you think? Of course it's painful.
When someone comes to me and they say, do you know that he was in jail? I'll tell them I know a lot of people who's been in jail.
Anyone that thinks that can't happen to them, you're foolish. You're very foolish.
Google's good for us.
They'll go Google something and they'll find something.
There's Google everywhere. I'm sure I've got stuff, you've got stuff.
He never tried to hide his past.
We're in our third decade. You think they would have found us out? Courtroom is about an act. They indicted me for what I should have known. I was strip searched and cavity searched. Within a week and a half, I got challenged. You got a problem with him, you got a problem with me. Let's go. If you can survive in prison, nothing else matters.
And then we looked at, what is the natural progression? What is already working? What is CEO space? And it was a very good tool and still is a good tool. But the point is this gives a great kind of walk through the forum, if you will.
In all the conventions and things I've been to in 45 years, I haven't seen anything like it. I haven't seen anything close to it even. It's hard being an entrepreneur. It's hard doing what you guys are doing. Think of CEO Space as the ultimate business trade show in the world in 140 countries, with 20 countries coming to any of them 5 times a year. When you come to CEO Space, it's the beginning of something that continues. It's not an event.
If you're already loving this place and it's word of mouth and you see that product and you feel like this is a right fit for me, that product can sell you. You don't need anybody to sell you. It can sell you because strategically we weave the story so that, yep, that's answered. Yep. Okay, I'm ready to buy. And so that's how video can really help you and make an impact in your business. Let's talk about 4 online marketing trends for 2014. The whole content topic is changing if you guys are staying abreast of what's coming down the pike these days. Social media gets wrapped up in SEO. So the more people choose to share a piece of content, the higher the perceived quality, the higher the rankings. So even the search engine optimization folks are changing the way that they are putting the rules on when do I rank a site higher than another site? And it's when you have relevant content that organically people are virally getting out there to other people. That's huge. What to do now versus 2009? If you are still exclusively publishing content about products and services, stop it. Nobody wants to hear about your products and services. Nobody cares about it. Nobody wants to buy. They want value. So they want answers to their questions and solutions to their problems. Content marketing, where it's headed. Write like you talk. Okay, which is very unique. In the past, the search engine focused on words in a search and deemed it important, right? That's how the search engines used to work. Now it focuses on the entire search to return the information the consumer truly wants. Embrace authorship. When an author is a real person with a real social reputation, Google sees it and ultimately rates the content as real and genuine, as opposed to the content from farms or spammers. So it's a new game, guys. It is a new game. Get social. So start sharing your content on relevant social channels, especially Google. I would encourage Google. And put in the time and energy needed to encourage engagement and sharing. And then lastly, focus on your target audience. Your content is most often your first chance to make an impact on your targeted customers. So make sure if you're having something to say, that it's positioned toward the target audience that is going to care about it and is truly at the end game going to be your customers and the people that are going to continuously buy from you. So make it matter, right? We've only got so many hours in a day. YouTube, more than 100 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. Wow. I don't even want to know how many servers it's taking. But anyway, mobile advertising has tripled in the past 6 months. So the time is here. You know, we've been preaching this story for over 6 years now. And let me tell you, the first couple years, there was a lot of doors slammed in the face. There was a lot of, oh, that's cute. Look what you're doing. Who's laughing now? How to be successful on YouTube. Plan a series, not a single video. So think long-term strategy and think about the longevity of the channel and build that loyalty. So I want you to even be strategic about when you're going to go, what are you going to go slap up on your YouTube channel? Don't just start putting up anything, you know? Think about what do you want it to build from or to. So just like your business, when you think about your, you know, what is my business model and how do I want it to grow and flow? Think about YouTube as the same way and just an extension of your brand. Think like a TV programmer. Tell your subscribers when to tune in, what to expect, and what your schedule is. The more you use languaging as if it's a TV channel and focus on metadata, adding the right tags and information can help you get your videos discovered. Does everybody know what I mean by that, tagging your videos? It's very easy to do when you go into the setting. And the way you want to tag things is you want to tag things of what would your clients, customers, whatever language you use, what would they Google to find you, right? So those are the types of words that you would want to put in there. Those are those tag words. And you can put, I mean, you can fit in a lot into that. And so that actually right there is the magic bullet of what gets certain channels ranked higher than others. And then I like this. Carlos, I don't know how many of you guys are a fan of Steve Jobs, but Carlos is a big fan, and he really is a genius. And, you know, look at some of the things that he's done. You know, he found good mentors. He made a great product, or he still makes, I guess this company still makes great products. He stands for something. You know, he's not afraid to spend money. He creates experiences. This is huge, creating experiences for people, because that's everlasting, right? That's what we remember. We remember, oh, remember when we did this. So create experiences in your brand. Keep secrets that build mystery. We all have to have those. Otherwise, what sets us apart? You know, find an enemy. He had a couple. They made him better, right? They made him a lot better. Turn customers into evangelists. Don't talk about products. It's not about the products, right? Nobody cares about your products. They care about how can you help me. And that's what, if you look at all of Apple's advertising, that's what they do. It's about a relationship. It's not about a product. I mean, just watch some of their ads. It's beautiful. And use pictures, videos, not words. Apple's a good example of that, right? All they make is products. They make the iPhone, they make the iPad, right? But if you watch how they spend their marketing, they never talk about the product in their ads. What they do is they talk about, usually it's a movement. Usually it's people all over the world, you know, connecting with other people, and they're finding ways that they're being able to have a relationship with people through that device, right? So that's how you do it when you have product. You talk about, what is that product, by using this product, how is that going to make me feel? How is that going to enrich my life? How is that going to make me better, right? That's what you talk about. And using videos as marketing selling tools. So we're going to talk a little bit about this in this section. Strategy assessment, what type of video should I use? How do I best utilize marketing videos, and campaign strategy? So let's get into that. What's your vision, mission statement? Do you have one? If you don't, you got to have one. Is your website ready? What's your lead capture strategy? Do you have a lead capture strategy? Are you selling products, and are you a hard sell or are you a soft sell? So types of different videos. The number one thing that I would tell you to have, if you don't have it already, is a promotional short 30-second to a minute, no more than maybe a minute and a half, on the homepage of your website. Some of us will read. If you're me, I don't read. If I go to a website that all it is written content, I'm out. Speaker reels. So when I talk about a speaker reel, I'll show you a quick example of what that looks like. But that's important, because if you send that with your bio and that's your press kit to get speaking engagements, then you're going to be a little bit higher above the average bear. Because if someone doesn't know you, let's say you're not, a huge name that's been in the marketplace 10 or 15 years, it doesn't matter, because if you have a speaker reel, it's going to position you as if you have been. And, oh, my bad, I'm a meeting planner and I didn't know better. This person is clearly somebody, right? And so speaker reels can do that. What are they doing? They're selling you. Bob Sercosta is one of our clients. He has a speaker reel. Aaron Young's one of our clients. He has a speaker reel. You have to have that. We're in a place right now that it sets up, again, the boys and the men, it sets you apart, or ladies and the girls, whatever. Intro videos. Do you guys know what I mean by intro videos? This is what, when you go hear big speakers, and you'll see some of our work here with some of the different ones, that'll be intro videos. So it's that right before they come on stage, it's that, getting the crowd excited, showing their credentials, introducing them better than maybe the MC would, basically. So anyway, those are all kinds of different products. So let's look at Bernie, and just stay with me, all right? Just stay with me for this.
The amount of customer base you'll grow, capture, know. You'll understand who's on your website, where they went, how long they stayed, where they clicked, what was really selling, which video sold, and Lisa understands that. I have looked all over the country and found 5, and Lisa's the best of the 5, and that's why we have Lisa Kelley at CEO Space teaching on stage. If you get to meet her, have a relationship, you will see what you need to know as an entrepreneur to be able to make your business without delay hypergrow and stay there.
Hi, my name is Nancy Alcorn. I'm the founder of Mercy Ministries, and I just want you to know that we have looked high and low across this nation for the very best. I'm telling you, they are awesome, and we've worked with some of the best, but we think we found the best. If you need a reference more detailed than this, give me a call, and I'll tell you, you won't find anybody better.
My experience with Sales Creator have been amazing. They have the passion, they are professionals. I feel safe. I love it. As a Latina, I love passion, I love heart, and Carlos and Lisa have it all. I know my message is in the right hands. The process has been very harmonic. I just really recommend everyone who is committed to have an amazing product out there to contact Sales Creator. They are the best. I love it. Gracias.
And I'm showing you that for a purpose of a teachable moment, to let you know that you need people like that. For those of you that don't know me, is your perception a little bit higher now that you've heard Bernie talk about us, or a little bit higher now that the founder of Mercy Ministries, this international organization, says we're good, right? So you need that for your brand. So make sure you get that. Wendy Ida, she's another one of our clients.
A California woman used fitness and bodybuilding to change her life, and now her mission is to help other women bring out the power of she.
I'm a fitness coach, trainer, speaker, and best-selling author. My name is Wendy Ida. I'm over 60 years old and still going strong.
Our next guest says she started life at 43.
Fitness trainer, coach, speaker, and best-selling author.
Award-winning bodybuilder Wendy Ida here with her tips on working out at home. I bow down to you, fitness warrior.
So that's a pretty great intro video, right? Wendy's one of our clients. We started working with her several years ago. And a lot of that footage that you saw, if it wasn't like the Jeff Probst show or the TV news, that was all the footage that took a long time of us doing. We created product for her. We created promotional products. Now, what's nice about this is when you get to work with a client for a long term, which is the type of people we like to work with, then you're able to build an actual reel like this, to create a campaign strategy. These are some of the core elements that I would make sure is involved in creating that. Pick a launch date, make sure that you've produced your videos, come up with a plan of action and a timeline associated with that. When I come up with campaigns with our clients, I don't like to do anything less than 3 months. I mean, a lot of clients, like they're coming out with big products. I mean, we might work with them a year, before everything's kind of rolling in. And then we usually back up 6 months to start, trickling information. You need 3 to 6 months. You really do. And little bonus on script writing. Here are the basic fundamentals that you're going to need to write a script. You're going to need your intro. You're going to need to tell them why they're watching this. So if you're going to create a video and write a script to it, tell them why they're watching this. You're the expert, so be authoritative. Solve their problem. and call to action. So always ask for the sale, or if it's not the sale, you know, it's basically what is our ask? Hi, my name is, what you saw with Paul Singer a second ago, right? That's how he started. Hi, I'm Paul Singer, and this is what I am, and this is why you should care, right? Honestly, and remember that. This is, why do they care? Because that's when you're writing a script. Do they care about this? I'm here to tell you what, and then you want to give credentials. Pretty quick into it, you want to give your credentials. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've helped companies such as blah, blah, blah. And I know if you follow my program, you will have great success. And you know that this is the answer you've been looking for. So that's where you're kind of, you know, wrapping it up to give them the ask. And then in conclusion, videos are a great tool, but they are just a tool. Without some strategy, some thought behind them, it's just going to flop. If you use videos in a well thought out sales and marketing campaign, they will convert sales. Trust me. If they're quality and you market them effectively, you can make money off of videos. You need to find out what type of campaign will work best for your business. We're here all week, so by all means, if you want some help with that, just come up and ask us. We're glad to talk to you. Video trends show that video consumption, usage, and effectiveness are going up, 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 up. And it's been doing that for 6 years. So the last thing I'll say is Google Hangouts is a new trend that will also be saturated pretty quickly, the same way webinars did. So I would say if you don't know a lot about it, check into it. It's a free tool that can pretty much give you an international audience just like that. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I hope this was helpful, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. All right.